get to what's happening here. You know, we may have seen Bob Geldof and 40,000 people in Parliament Square, you know, moaning about Brexit. Believe you me, if the people in this country think that they're going to be cheated, they're going to be betrayed, then we will see political anger, the likes of which none of us in our lifetimes have ever witnessed in this country. Those newspaper headlines are reflecting that.
There's going to be a real danger of disturbance in the streets and so on if Brexit is thwarted by Parliament.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I mean, you know, I heard you talking to Gina Miller earlier about the nasty things that have been said about her. I mean, you know, believe you me, I've had years of this. I've had years of hate mobs, taxpayer-funded hate mobs, chasing me around Britain. You know, the temperature of this is very, very high. Now, I'm going to say to everybody watching this who was on the Brexit side, you know, let's try and get even. Let's have peaceful protest, and let's make sure in any form of election we don't support people who want to overturn this process.
Nigel Farage, you have talked about a moneyed elite betraying the will of the people. Are you talking about Gina here, Miller?
Oh, very much so, yeah. Although, don't forget, I've been in the European Parliament for years, so I've seen this happen all over Europe. I've seen the Danes forced to vote again, the Irish forced to vote again, the Dutch and French ignored. There is a political and wealthy ruling elite who are not prepared to accept the democratic result of referendums.
You've been an insurgent all your political life. Do you not at least admire Gina Miller here for using her own money to change things? I mean, she, you know, nobody asked her to do this. She used her own money. She went to the House of Lords, she went to the courts, and she has now changed our entire political structure.
Well, Parliament has to have a vote, and she's done what she believes in. I, of course, support people doing what they believe in. However, I just want to ask her, what part of the word leave don't you understand?
This case, have you read the case?
Yes, and you're arguing
Yes.
that Parliament should have a say. But do you want us, ultimately, OK, you accept we're leaving the European Union, do you want us to stay part of the single market?
That is not, I'm not the politician. I'm not the politician here. I'm the person who saw the elephant in the room, which was there is no legal certainty. You should actually be my biggest fan, because I've just created the legal certainty so that Theresa May can now, rather than appealing, go ahead, have the debate and leave, not interrupt her timetable. So actually, there is legal certainty.
But what you've done is you've given all those in Parliament who argue that the referendum does not mean we should leave the single market, you've given them the chance, effectively, to overturn the Prime Minister's wish and to mandate her. And if that happens, you would have stirred up, I think, the biggest political upset we've ever seen.
So should we sack all the MPs and they go home? Because
what
we have a representative democracy at the moment, which means that they have to go in there and debate. That's what Parliament was. That's what you argued for the whole way through, which was parliamentary sovereignty.
No,
exactly.
No. I don't. No. This is not about whether Parliament's sovereign. It's about whether the British people are sovereign. That's the real argument
We are not
here.
a direct
and for you, as a pro-EU supporter, to talk about parliamentary sovereignty in Britain is a bit rich, isn't it? Really.
Will we move on? Do you want a country where we have no process, where everything we do in life, being buying a house...
It's called a referendum. We've had a referendum.
If Parliament wanted to, the Referendum Act would not have said it was advisory. The politicians lied all the way through, because they didn't say that.
I take the advisory point, and I would now wish to see constitutional change to make referendums binding, and that then would end this argument and there'd be no need for this case.
Do you think there now needs to be another general... If Brexit is sort of stuck inside the House of Commons and the House of Lords, we haven't even talked about the Lords for a while, do you think there needs to be another general election?
Yes, I think that if Parliament was to effectively try and mandate the Prime Minister to try and keep us inside the single market, I don't think Theresa May would have any choice but to go to the country for a spring general election, and she could do so on a very clear ticket, win a big majority. The House of Lords problem, you know, there are over 104 Liberal Democrat live peers who appear to be pledged to delaying the process as much as possible.
And I mean, this could be peers as well.
I mean, this could be the end of the House of Lords. Yeah.
Seriously, so you're stirring up huge things here, Gina Miller.
I think that Nigel's point on referendum and where is the place of referendum in our political system is a very valid one. But that's not where we exist now. It's about the rule of law where we are now. That is a very valid point about the whole political system being looked at, because it all needs changing, and that's the hatred that's really there. And that's a hatred I completely understand in the people, is that nobody trusts the politicians because the majority of the ones who are the main decision makers lie.
But we always used to trust the judges, and apparently we don't trust the judges now either.
I think that is unforgivable, because they are not, you know, I'm a nobody. They are the biggest brains in this country. They are what make us great. And then, no, I'm sorry, but the reason you said earlier about being conflicted, well, we were part of the European Union. Of course they have to talk about European law. We haven't left yet.
Yes,
they
but
have
Lord
to.
Thomas has been an activist for integration of law at EU level. And I look, you know, the points of law we could argue forever. I just feel that if somebody is directly politically conflicted by their past, they should not sit in judgment. That's all.
Well, thank you both very much. I'm just slightly crestfallen. The best bits of the programme are where I'm not involved at all, but thanks very much.